Fantastic. Susan's, take it away. Let's go. All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. We're so excited you decided to join us tonight for our Lifewave X39 stem cell activation review and technology. We've got some amazing testimonials for you tonight. I'm going to be screen sharing some pictures. Before we do, I'm going to go ahead and share our disclaimer that Lifewave, the information we're sharing tonight, is for informational purposes only. No information here is intended to treat, cure, or diagnose anyone. If you have any conditions, or if you're on any medications or pregnant or nursing, please check with your healthcare provider. They will be happy to assist you in whatever it is that meets your needs. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Marci, who's going to do our interviewing tonight, and I'll come back here in a little bit. Or no, I'm going to do the interviewing. I'm going to do the interviewing. That's right. I'm going to come back at 9:30 and do the science and tech part of our PowerPoint for our business out. Look at this. I'm so used to turning it over to you. Okay, so I'm going to do the interviewing tonight. Fantastic. I'm going to Marci's going to share the science and tech. Okay, you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with Susan. Susan, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to share your pictures here in a minute, okay? But I want you to share with everyone, how did you find out about Lifewave? What was life like a little bit before that? What had you been experiencing? Who introduced you? How long have you been using the patch? What patches have you been using? And then, of course, we're going to share your before and afters. So, you got your little thing ready?
Oh, here we go. Yes, ma'am. Take two.
Take two. Let's go.
And I'm a lucky person.
Yay!
So, Gary Perrout introduced me to the patches in October. And I've been on them since November when I ordered them and received them. And this is my 6th month and doing very well. Life before that, well, I had surgery in 2013. I think you'll see the pictures. Had to take an injection every 8 weeks, which injects synthetic hormones into my system because I have what they call acromegaly, which is gigantism. And come October, I was getting worse. It's been 10 years since the surgery. So I was going back to the way I looked at that time. I was having trouble breathing. My heart was racing, couldn't see very well. And with acromegaly, you get kind of symptoms of everything. It's just pre-diabetic, osteopenia. Just you start growing, your organs grow, your brain, your fog, and your muscles deform, and you just get bigger and bigger. You could throw a quarter on my belly or any part of my body and it just bounced off. That's how tight it was. I couldn't swallow. It just got worse and worse. So you become like Andre the Giant or somebody with acromegaly. So so October, I wasn't doing very well. I was sleeping all the time. I was having my heart race. Blood pressure was in the 170s, 160s. And I prayed about it. About the same time, my Weimaraner, 11-year-old Weimaraner, was also sick. And I had to drag him, being sick myself, drag him to the vet. And I'm telling this story because when I took him to the vet, the vet told me he was dying. And he would be dead the 2nd week of October because it was aggressive cancer. And he couldn't walk or anything. So I prayed about it. I said, okay, God, send me something that will help my body heal, or not necessarily heal, but it get to where it can handle getting better on its own. And so, because I was tired of the injection, I was tired of the medicines. I didn't want to be on the high blood pressure medicines, which they put me on in June. I had gone through COVID in 2021. For 3 weeks, I was sick, had long haulers, I think. My hair was falling out. And I was no zest for life at that point in October. About a week later, Gary, I saw some of his information, and I saw also a picture of Gloria. And I said, okay, let me see what we can do here, because I need to do something. And so he talked to me about it, and I said, a Band-Aid, that's crazy. Okay, I'll try it. So I ordered the Aeon, the X39, and the Alavita. And I received those in the first week of November, and I started using them. and I immediately started seeing results. And I said, well, if it works for me, I'll try it on my dog. The dog was still around. And so I just got started getting energy the next day. I was up at 6 in the morning till 10 at night. I have a very stressful job in IT, very demanding. So I finally was able to start focusing and working, and I just was doing so much better. And I took my dog back to the vet third week of November, and he looked at me, he looked at the dog, he said, "That's not the same dog." I said, "Yes, it is." And he said, "No, I didn't expect him back." I said, "I'll bring him back next year in April or May, and I'll show you that this works." He disregarded me, but yeah, they work. These patches work. I no longer, well, a lot has happened, a lot. I'm getting chills. I no longer have blood pressure, high blood pressure. It's in the 120s, 130s. I measured every day. My doctors are amazed. They took me off the high blood pressure medicine in November. Went back for bone density. They said my bone density was improving, where it was not, it was getting worse. My eyesight's getting better. I don't have the prisms anymore. I don't feel like I have pressure in the back of my eye anymore. I can speak clearly. I don't have the allergies I had when we had the last interview. I've been using energy enhancers on each arm here, like the tan one here and here. And what I thought was weight was the lymphs were holding all that junk in it because it couldn't move it anywhere. And I have just, it's just melting off. I had gray hair. Well, it was coming in and out. And now it's coming in kind of a golden brown and no gray hair. I haven't colored it, refused to color it anymore. Oh my gosh. I mean, look at my hands. And she'll show you pictures. This is amazing. This is totally amazing. My face is totally amazing. My dog's still out there at 12 years old, acting like a little puppy. You know, I'm excited. I'm gonna look forward to many more years now where with this disease, they tend to not, they give you about a 10-year span, maybe 15 with injections. Every time I did the injections every 8 weeks, I would morph back and forth. And so my gynecologist, I just saw him about a month ago, and it's a he, but he's very nice gynecologist. And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Why?" He says, "You look so much different and younger. What are you doing?" I said, "I'm wearing patches." "What?" And I told him about it, and he wants to try him out because he's got ankle problems. They've done surgery. So his nurse wants to talk to me about it. I went and saw my neurosurgeon because I had surgery back in 2013. They went up transsphenoidal surgery and cut the tumor out, or yeah, close to the pituitary tumor, which is close to the eyes, which caused me to have eye problems. And I walked in, or she walks into the office, and she goes, "What are you doing? Reverse aging?" And she hadn't seen me in 3 years. And I just looked at her. I thought, "Oh, she must be on the stem cells too." And she wasn't. She was interested. She's interested in the patches, and she works for a university hospital. So that was kind of fun. And so talking to her, and then also my wellness doctor that I went to recently, and she said I was a miracle, that I didn't have thyroid issues, but I had other issues that were increasing, that were getting better. And I had seen her in December. So she said, "You're just a miracle." And even her assistant said the same thing. So I'm doing so much better. And I really think I don't know how to share this with people and them not think it's crazy that this little band-aid right here can do something so wonderful. And I have people that I know that I've shared this with, and they have testimonials that are amazing too. And I just want to thank you and the whole company and David Smith and Marci, and thank you. I mean, it's a change of life, a change of quality of life, because now I get up And although I need to start exercising more, I have the energy and I want to do it now. And it's changed my life. And
It has. I remember the first time I interviewed you, and it was a struggle for you
Yeah.
to share even what you were experiencing then, and you were experiencing some things, and now you're just like this, like,
Yeah.
wow. And when you shared those pictures after our Zoom last week, I'm like, we have to get you back on. Let me screen share that so everyone can see what has happened to you during the last 6 months. And I want to double check again that you have used the X39,
Mhm.
the Eon, and the Alavita.
I use that. I use the SB6. I use the energy enhancer. I use glutathione and carnosine because I wanted to hit all areas of the system since I had so many symptoms. I use almost everything except Silent Night, Nirvana, but I've used them all, like I said, just to go to the different areas and help Aeon and X39 and Alavita, because Alavita I know is doing the skin.
All right, so Susan, this first picture I think was what, 7 years ago?
Yeah, that was in 2013, right before my surgery.
Okay, so 10 years ago to this.
Yes.
Now, but I also have your pictures before you started, right before you started Lifewave.
Yeah.
And let me pull that up right here. This was right when you got started.
Well, no, that's the one about 2 weeks before the second one. There's another one that back in October that shows almost as I was just as bad as the picture in 2013. I was getting worse. But this is like a week or two before this other one.
Okay, so this is before this one, correct?
Right. 2 weeks.
Okay, so just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, she was getting better. This one wasn't this. You were already on the patch on both of these.
Yeah, you were already on the patch on this one. This is just even more recent. So things are happening even faster.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Very much faster. Much faster.
Let me do your hands so we can see those. So this you can see is 11/5/2022.
Yes.
This is 12/7/2022.
Yes.
And this is now right here, correct?
That's in the month of February.
This was February.
Mhm.
Okay, so this was right before you started.
Right.
And then this was about a month later.
Yep.
And this was a few months after that, 2 months after that. And then you've got your hand now.
Yes. Oh, I still have my hand now. Yes. See?
Yes.
And let me show you what I was talking about in the picture right here. If you see right down here, that's the picture in October before I started.
Send that one to me, Susan, because I don't see that one.
Okay. So yeah, that one I started in it. That was the picture before October, before I started.
Okay.
And I was getting as bad as what I was with the 2013, which could have gotten me back to having to have another surgery, which I regret. I will not do.
That's what most people say after they've had a surgery. They won't do it again.
Right.
Oh, well, thank you so
look
much.
at my neck.
Oh,
look
yeah,
at-
your neck.
Yeah, I mean,
Things changed.
yeah. Big time.
She's going to send me that picture of all three of them. I'll share them here in a little bit.
But
But
can I have that with the before and after telegram too, doctor? That's something else, man.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm just so happy for you. 6 months on these patches is just, thank you for taking the time to come in and update everyone. And I'm excited for your future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jody, let me get Jody up here. Actually, it's Sean, but it's Jody. It looks like it's Jody on the screen. It just needs you to unmute. There you go, Sean.
I'm very challenged with IT.
Hey, Jody.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Okay.
And the dogs are in here with us too, so I apologize if one jumps up.
It's perfectly fine. We're good. We're
Okay.
glad we got you on here. So
Thank
let's
you.
hear from you, Sean. Tell us a little bit, how long have you been using Lifewave? Who introduced you? What was life like before? And tell us what's going on now.
Okay, so I've been trying to put off knee surgery, like total knee surgery, for 4 to 5 years. I've tried everything from Symbis to Kenalog injections. I've had it drained every 2 months for the last 3 years. And 8 weeks ago, I started putting the patches on and I have no swelling. My knee was clicking, you know, like with every step. That's better. I think I mentioned in my little note to you that I had a patellar fracture, Achilles rupture, just things that have happened through the years. And now I'm walking almost normal. I have no swelling and virtually no pain.
Wow.
And that's with that. With my MS, I have been MS, like I mentioned, 21 years. Had lots of neuropathy and that sort of thing. And really, life's amazing. It's amazing. I hardly have any neuropathy, discomfort. I'm more energetic, and I don't know. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm going to keep on.
So 8 weeks. Tell me again what patches you were using.
I was with the X39 and Eon.
The Eon. Okay, so X39 and Eon. Wow.
Right.
8 weeks.
Right.
And all that's changed.
It has changed. And I have the ice wave. If I have some soreness, I put it right there on the knee and I'm fine. What is it? Glutathione. I've started that because I want to try to build some cartilage there. And I've noticed a huge difference. I think I mentioned to you, I've been out here doing yard work, building fire pits and all this stuff, and I'm doing great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So you got, so Sean is 2 months into using the patches and some pretty severe things that you were experiencing. I know you're a triage nurse. Is that correct?
I am now, yes, after 37 years and mostly ICU and stuff like that.
Yeah. So on your feet, concrete all the time. Right. And so looking at trying to avoid a surgery, get out of pain and be able to function in life. And 8 weeks later, life is completely different for you.
It's amazing. I was sitting at night with my leg elevated with ice packs every single day. And yeah, Jody is a massage therapist and all that, and she was having to work on my knee. And so now I do my job every day and I take care of doggies and yard and we do stuff together. And I guess we'll be taking a hike pretty soon. So
wow. Thank you, Sean, for sharing. We are definitely going to have you come back on when you're at 6 months, like Susan, who's doing basically the same kind of things you are, right? She's like, now I've got my life back.
Right. It's amazing.
6 months, so much is changing for both of you ladies. And it's in different ways, obviously, but it's the same technology, but doing different things. I'm just so grateful you came on to share with us tonight.
Well, thank you. And I'll have to say, I was very skeptical because like I mentioned, I've been a nurse for 40 years. So everything's medicine and it has to be this. Man, what a difference. So.
Wow. What a difference, right? It is.
I'm glad I believed in it. Yes.
The normal realm of what we're used to, but what a massive difference that has made by just.
And the cane, my cane is hanging up in the closet. So there we go. All the better. Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate you on here. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Let me screen share one more time. Susan did send me the other picture. So I want you guys to see all of the pictures. So let me get you over here out of my way so I can get to my bottom part. There it is. All right. So here is the picture of all three of Susan. Okay. So Susan, you are muted. Let's tell us which one. We don't have dates on these.
Okay. Yeah. So the first one's before in October.
This one here?
First week. No, the other one.
This one.
No, the one below it is October.
Yeah.
You can see where I was heading towards being bad again.
That's what I thought. Double check. Everything's swollen. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then up above it is I took that picture in January, I believe.
Okay.
And then this other picture I took 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. So look at the difference in your eyes. You can see how much
in her skin.
Open. Yeah. Color. The
nice
color.
Her coloring is in her forehead color. Her color is good.
All right. Wow.
And then the other one, the last one is the best one, I think, so far. Yeah, that one.
Up one there. That's amazing.
Isn't it? Yeah, I was like, wow.
With your
That-
glasses on, you look like a different person.
That's 6
Yeah.
months, right?
That's 6 months right now in
Sure.
April.
Show her the one with her glasses and the one before, like the first one you said, not that, you know, which right there, like that right there is insane.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, you don't look like the same person. You don't look like the same person.
Well, what I think this patch does is the stem cells, it regenerates your body to where the way you should be.
Mhm.
And even if you maybe 10, 13 years ago, I wasn't, that it takes me back to even better and more just the way I should have been
Yeah.
before I was even sick. You know what I mean? You understand?
I
Yeah,
think
it's not,
what you're saying is the stem cells are regenerating you like you were young even before you had this crazy thing happen to you, and it's just remembering how to do that again.
yeah, but even better because I may have had something at that time, so it's regenerating me to where I wouldn't have had that. Like I would have been healed before that.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like you're a healthy person. It's not that you still back to the way I was. I
Mhm.
think it's back to the way I was, but better,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Fantastic.
Do you
Thank
mind me asking, when did you get this issue? Like how many years have you had this for?
2013, when they diagnosed it, a year before that, in 2011, I started getting symptoms and they kept compounding and doctors couldn't figure out what was going on. And I researched it and I'm the one who found out what it was. And I
Wow.
went to a ear doctor because I had my tonsils, and the day of surgery, he says, "Oh, you know that you have a pituitary tumor?" I said, "What?" "Oh, light bulb. That was it. That's what was wrong with me. My heart was getting worse. My doctor was telling me I had carpal tunnel. I didn't. It was prolactinoma because there's 6 types of pituitary tumors, and I had prolactinoma and acromegaly. And so they were trying to do surgery, hand surgery. I said, no, something else is going on here that y'all just don't know what it is.
Wow.
And yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
That's amazing. Dr. Stacy, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was just blown away.
Yeah, me
Good.
too. I am too. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate you taking the time to do this for everybody tonight.
Sure.
Thank you. All right, Mars.
So what is going on? I think Susan explained it. The X39, this Band-Aid, or maybe it was Jody that said, is it really this Band-Aid that could be doing it? But inside this is something special. That's organic crystal made up of some amino acid, sugar, water, salt, and oxygen, and it forms a lattice. As Dr. Stacy always says, that reflects. It's a reflector and it reflects your own body. Yes, we radiate a low-grade infrared light. So when Susan puts this patch on her body, it's reflecting back a light wave. And that is activating a very important peptide, GHK copper peptide. And that peptide is known to activate your stem cells, make more stem cells, and reset your stem cells to a younger, healthier state. And it turns out by the time you're 30, you've lost 30%. They've gone inactive. And by the time you're 60, almost all of them are inactive. So if we're looking at Susan and Jody, of course, their stem cells stopped pretty much working. And so Susan's just repairing, not well anymore, right? So what happens if you put this patch on and you start activating those stem cells to work like you're 20 again? Well, what do stem cells do? Well, Dr. Patty talks about stem cells being the only cells in your body that are changeable. They can change into whatever cell your body needs for repairing. And that's what it did for Susan and Jody when they were 20. So what happens if you could do that again? What happens if you could activate those stem cells to start repairing again? They act like honing birds and they go to the inflammation and they turn into the cells that they need to be when they repair. It's interesting, when you're born, stem cells are what create your head, your liver, all those organs. And of course, after you're born, stem cells don't create 2 heads, of course, but after you're born, from about age, 1 to 20, they work as these things called multipotent stem cells, and they just go and turn into what you need to repair and repair and repair. And do you remember in your 20s, doctor, how we just were repairing all the time? Did we have gray hair when we were 20? No. Did we have wrinkles when we were 20? No. As Susan says, when we were 20, we were just repairing and we just loved it. And what happens now with Susan, she's putting this patch on. Could she really start repairing back like she used to when she was young before all this happened a decade ago? I got chills. I think it's yes. That's what's really happening here. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful story tonight because Susan is just an example of how the stem cells are working again and repairing her back to before all those issues. So how do you wear it? 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. You wear it just below the back of the neck or under the belly button, or really any spot will do because your whole body's light. All that you have to remember is 12 on, 12 off. Because this is light. We are actually a form of wearable light technology. It's actually light making change in your body called photobiomodulation. And if you wear the patch 24 hours over and over and over again, your body can get used to the signal. And so it doesn't work so well. So the only rule is 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Now you can go to a website called startx39now.com and research more about it. There is a great 2-minute video on phototherapy. What is light? There's a 3-minute video on stem cell activation. And there are some great before and after pictures on the site, which we need to add Susan to, I believe. And you can see what it's really doing. Also, you can go and look at the 18-minute video where David Schmidt, the owner, inventor, and CEO, actually talks about how X39 works and the issues it helps with. So go check that site out and learn. And once again, that's startx39now.com. I will quickly, in 1 minute, explain a few of the other technologies because Susan and Jody were using them, and I know you're going to want to know. EON activates a peptide that reduces inflammation. Inflammation is an eater of stem cells. So when you wear those together, you turbocharge the stem cells to work better. As Dr. Stacy says, these are the dynamic duo. And you only know about them by looking at the back to see what's written on them because they're all white. Also, Susan talked about Alavita. Alavita activates a peptide that builds collagen in the skin. And so I could see how that is making her skin so beautiful. And she talked about energy as the igniter. This actually ignites the mitochondria, the powerhouse of every cell of the body, and it burns fat to create energy. So those were some of the patches I believe Susan were talking about. I think in addition, they both talked about glutathione, which is wonderful for detoxing the body and just pulling all the yuck out. And it also helps with pain. That's right. So with that, Dr. Stacy, you can get one X39 for $149 retail, or you can go on auto ship and become a customer for $119. Most people like one of the kits from $299 up. And here's the great thing. You can mix and match X39 and some of the other support patches. And it's a great deal at wholesale pricing, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So get with the person who brought you here and let them know what you want to do. Take a look at startx39now.com so you can educate yourself and just, like Susan and Jody, enjoy the change in your body, because, I didn't talk about Jody much, but I heard you, Jody, your knees in 8 weeks are in, Sean, are in no pain. Like really, when you were going to do surgery and no swelling, and you are a nurse on the floor for 40 years with the trauma on those knees, and now you don't hurt. I mean, that's quality of life. It really is. So with that, Dr. Stacy, why don't you close the call out for us?
Fantastic. Thank you, Marci. And thank you, ladies, for your testimonials tonight. I appreciate you guys so much. So basically, like Marci said, get back with the person that invited you. We are having our patching podcast tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific with Laura and Wendy. If you would like to hear from 2 new people that will share their personal testimonial, invite your friends and family members and coworkers so they can hear as well too. And with that, I'm going to stop our recording because I want to share something else.